Hey guys, welcome back to another little mini chit chat reaction video, whatever we want to call it. I guess that's what we'll call it. It's a reaction video because I'm literally reacting to the news cycle. First of all, I want to apologize for the noise in the background. That's the wind, the air going. We can't turn it off. We're in a heat wave, unfortunately. So I will try to speak above the noise. I also have my window open, so you may hear traffic going by from time to time. So I apologize in advance for those things if they're an issue. Um, Before we get started, I wanted to go ahead and shout out my Purple Heart member gangs. You guys will see this once I re-upload it to YouTube. So shout out to you guys for your support. You guys always come through and show love. So I do appreciate you guys. Thank you in advance. To anyone else who'd like to join or take part or enjoy the content, whatever have you, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We do a little bit of everything on my channel. I'm kind of a multifaceted individual. So I'm an entrepreneur. I work full time. I do a multitude of different things. And, I have various interests. Politics happens to be one of those things, as well as I'm a history buff. I love me some history, especially Black history. Obviously, I am Black. So, with that being said, I thought I had to do this reaction. Like, it's just, I can't even contain myself. So I'm reacting to the situation with Trump and the five leaders from the continent of Africa that he met with at the White House. Specifically, I'm reacting to his comment about the Liberian president, how good his English is, and wanting to know, like, who taught him English and where was he educated and where did he learn such good English, just continually putting his foot in his mouth, as they say. No one, not the person sitting beside him, nobody in the room, you know, thought to pinch him and let him know, like, first of all, that's their official language in Liberia. They speak English. Second of all, the people there are the descendants of freed slaves from America. So it's like, this is why history is important. When you talk about they want to whitewash history in the United States, they want to remove all that slavery stuff and they want to, rewrite history. This is why history is important, so that you don't go on national television and make yourself look completely uneducated. This is not something that's specific to Trump when it comes to um, Black history as a whole, but just anything outside of the United States as a whole. So, like I say in all of my reactions, I don't usually react to anything unless I can put a personal input, personal experience, personal knowledge behind the reaction. It's not for clicks and views. I really don't care about that stuff, obviously. So my personal experience with this stuff is going back to not just strangers, even in my own family. I have a huge part of my family that lives in the United States, from New York to Atlanta to Texas. So when I say this, I'm being so for real. I've had family members, when we go to on vacations or go to visit, say stuff like, "Y'all got McDonald's in Canada?" And I'm like, "Are you for real? There's McDonald's in Afghanistan. Why wouldn't there be a McDonald's in Canada? We're literally 8 hours away from New York. Like, we're right there. It's like a hour and 20-minute plane flight. Of course we have McDonald's. McDonald's is a global entity, right?" But in my mind, I'm saying, like, are you stupid or what? Like, are you for real? Like, where did you, like, what? Then I've had strangers, Americans, say stuff like, "Oh, it must be it's so cold up there, like all time, all year round. It's so freezing. Do you guys live in igloos?" And I'm like, Like, now that I'm older, it's like I'm laughing because it's like that sounds crazy. Like, you sound so low. Um, like your intellect is like missing, like completely gone. Like your brain, where the space is, where your brain is supposed to be, is empty. Like, it's just, what are you talking about, right? Um, Canada is a huge country. Landmass, it's bigger than the United States. Yes. Okay. So, like, we have multiple seasons. There are parts of Canada where winter is as like extremely mild. Like on the west coast, you have Vancouver. The basically sharing the same weather pattern as California. Like, give me a break. Like, educate, get some education. You know what I mean? This is why it's important not to gut the Ministry of Education. And please, for God's sakes, do not rewrite your history books. You already do a terrible, terrible job of representing history as a whole. Like, and I'm saying this again with personal knowledge. It has been my experience seeing this stuff. Like, Americans are not that much different than North Koreans when it comes to being indoctrinated with their own history. Like, they don't know nothing about world history. You don't even know anything about the countries you share a continent with, much less global history. So I'm not surprised by this comment of, where did you learn English, or how do you speak such good English? Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, you don't get a briefing before you go and speak to people. Like, you meet these leaders and you just kind of go off the cup. You sound crazy. And the world is watching you on the news. People are watching you going, oh my God, did this guy just say that? Did he just ask the man where he learned English? Holy crap. Aside from the fact that it's their official language, I get this all the time too from people who are not black. I get this all the time. Like, oh my God, like, you speak English, and you're just like, yeah, I do. It's my official language. What are you talking about? Like, and it's just, the ignorance is global. It's not just Americans, but in certain particular things where you're figuring they should know these things, they just don't completely know, and it comes across extremely racist, and it comes across extremely uneducated. I'm sorry, that's how it comes across to the rest of the world, right? For you to ask an African president from a country, that speaks English, where he learns to speak English, that whole statement is racist. Like, how do you not see that? It's crazy. Um, Me personally, I would answer a question like that. I would say, from you, from the colonizers, from the enslavers, and then I probably wouldn't be president anymore. But you have to be diplomatic, and you have to smile, and you have to say politely, and you have to do all of this and that, and that's unfortunate because those type of questions don't deserve polite responses. This is the same guy that said they don't want people from these. I don't want to say the full what he said because YouTube be real finicky on what they choose to censor. What did he say? S-hole countries. If you're familiar with the statement, you'll know when he was talking about African countries and Africans immigrating to the United States and Haitians and all this other stuff. He don't want people from these S-hole countries coming to the United States. Fast forward, it's 2025, right? And everybody's figuring it out. Oh my God, we're running out of minerals like lithium and magnesium and gold, and we need the minerals. And oh my God, we can't bully Canada because they're part of the British Commonwealth. We can't take their minerals and their stuff. So what can we do? Oh my God. And the Chinese are already in Africa, been over there. Now you're playing catch up as always, last to the party. So now it's no longer S-hole countries. It's come to the White House. It's, I know we talked about, the genocide with the white farmers and all that stuff. Let's move on beyond that. Now let's talk about your gold and your minerals and your deposits, right? This is why it's important to educate yourself beyond these popular news outlets. It's important to educate yourself and know your history. This is why they're so angry with the gentleman from Burkina Faso, who was young and smart enough to realize, like, this is ridiculous. Kick them all out. You know what I mean? Kick out all of these European countries that's been raping Africa for centuries, taking all the resources and putting back little investment to zero investment into the continent, period. This is non-debatable. I don't care how you feel about it. The facts are the facts, right? So this is why he probably wasn't invited to that little powwow at the White House, because he's too, what's the word they're using these days to describe educated people? He's too woke for that particular conversation. And this whole thing with BRICS has driven them into insanity, clearly. How dare these countries team up and think that they can, oh my God. So that's a whole thing. So now it's, let's go through Africa and see which countries we can scrape up that's not part of BRICS and that's willing to make a deal and all this other stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the comment is not even shocking. I don't think anybody who looks like me is shocked by any of this. I know the media is having a field day with it because they like to, poke fun and point out the obvious. Like, we don't even need the media to show you the obvious. The question was ridiculous. Like, who does that? Who says that? I've never heard him say to any of, what about Macron and the other people, the guy from Pakistan and these other people that come to the White House. I never hear him comment on how good their English is. And these are people whose English is not their first language. I never hear him complimenting Macron and saying, oh my God, your English is so great for a French-speaking prime minister, or, any of that stuff. So clearly this is all ridiculous. It shows the ignorance, the racism, all of it. And feel how you feel about it. He is a representation of the populace, okay? His party won and they're in power, right? So he's just representing, he's a reflection of the populace. He's a reflection of his population. It is what it is. And don't even get the other one started, his vice president. Then you're gonna be really into it, right? You don't even want him to start talking because according to him, women should be chained to the stove, and it gets real dark down that particular rabbit hole that I won't even touch. So it's a whole administration. It's ripe. It's rampant with it. It's rife with it. You can just watch the news. They attack healthcare and science, and they attack people who represent education. Look at them with their war with Harvard. It's like, it's a whole thing. It's just a thing. It's just like, I don't even know what they're doing. I would suggest that, please protect your education. Do whatever you want to do with the rest of your country. I do not care. But please protect your education before in 30 years you're all walking around with drool buckets, talking about life is like a box of chocolates and sounding like Forrest Gump. Please protect your education. Education is important. The rest of the world will continue to transcend in their intellect. And your young people will be left behind if you don't get a grip on this stuff. This stuff is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. And it's not nothing to be proud of. We'll leave it there. Let me know how you feel about that stuff in the comments. And yeah, we could talk about it. And I'm out of here. Have a good day. Deuces.